Okay guys, in this video, I want to share with you something that I am currently testing. I am testing what I'm calling a multi-city strategy. And I'm testing it in real time. I'm literally in the middle of a deal right now where I'm testing it. And I want to bring it to you guys real time, live. And I want to let you guys know up front, this could be something that, in a month, I'm like, hey, you remember that thing that I was testing out? It didn't work. Okay, but I think it's more interesting for you guys to know what I'm doing instead of like, oh, this is what I did in the past. And I've talked about this at length. This is my new thing is I'm like, I just want to share what I'm currently doing, okay? So, by the way, if you guys don't know who I am, I'm Nick Wood. This is my channel. We talk about renting simple websites so that you can have an incredible lifestyle, travel the world, do whatever you want to do, and get paid to literally rent out your website. So there's my little 2 cents on what this business model is in case this is your first video. So, this is why it's so important to follow and listen to people that are actually in the game, not people that were in the game, but that are in the game and still doing the business model, not just, hung up their jersey and whatever. Okay, so if you haven't done this model before, if you haven't gone for a deal, then you aren't going to know exactly what this feels like. But if you have, you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. When you start doing deals in this business, what often happens is you research an area, you go, you run ads, you get some leads, you get the deal, and then all of a sudden the area dries up. And I'm sure there's 100 people right now like, yeah, I've had that happen. We've all had it happen, okay? And the hard part is like we don't really know why. Sometimes it's because there's a condition, right? There's a recession, there's an election, there's a weather thing, whatever. But sometimes we pick the wrong area. And everything looked good. We got just enough leads to get the deal. And now it's like, oh, crap. Okay. I've had this happen a ton of times. And so I'm in the middle of getting this deal right now in artificial grass. This is the niche. And in this specific deal, I am not 100% sure about the area that I'm targeting. Okay. I don't know the area. I've never done deals in the area. And this company covers multiple cities in this little, so pretend it's DFW, Dallas Fort Worth. It's not, but it would be like the business owner saying, hey, we cover all the areas. And I asked the guy, I'm like, hey, what's the ideal city? And he told me, and it looked good, but I did research on a couple other cities. So long story short, what I'm trying to do right now is rather than just sign the deal with this one specific city and lock myself into that city, because I'm not sure how good it's going to be. I'm not sure how it's going to produce long-term because it's not a large city, okay? So what I'm going to do is this, and this is what I proposed to him, is that I told him, hey, and we're only going to do a 3-month out the gate, okay? If I was 100% certain about a city, I'm doing a 6-month hands down. Because I'm not certain, I said, hey, let's do 3 months, $1,500 a month. And I was completely transparent with him. I said, what I'm going to do is there's 4 different cities inside of your area, okay? I'm going to choose 4 different cities that you said you wanted leads in. And they're all kind of similar. Some look a little better, but they all kind of look, good. You give me the $1,500 and I'm going to spend the first 3 months figuring out which one of these cities is going to be the winner, okay? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that money, and for the first 3 months out of the 1,500, I'm probably going to spend 66% of it. I'm going to spend 1,000. I think that's the correct math. I'm going to spend 1,000 of the 1,500 just on testing which area is going to produce the best. So I'm going to be running ads in 2 different cities at once. Okay. So let's say I'm in Dallas, Fort Worth. I'm going to be running them in Dallas, and I'm going to be running them in Arlington. And I am going to figure out, my only goal during the first 3 months is which city am I going to put my money on? Okay, and one of the questions that he had, because it's kind of been a back and forth deal, is he's like, I'm just not sure how you're going to be able to get, 15 or whatever leads consistently out of that area, because it's not a huge area. It's a growing area. We love the jobs out of there, whatever. But I just I'm not sure you're going to be able to get. So when he said that, I was like, okay, well, you know better than I do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to be doing like a split test with 2 different areas. I'm not going to be building a website. I've landed the deal, but I'm not going to be building a website. My first 3 months is just a testing phase where I can figure out which area is going to be my baby, which area I want to put a website down on. I want to start building out my asset. Okay. Now, I told him, if I have an answer to that question before 3 months, I'm going to let you know. And I want us to then discuss, getting into a 6-month agreement, whatever. But my first initial period, guys, I am just going to be testing, right? And so the other thing that I told him is I said, here's going to be the options. And this is one thing that I think is going to work really well. Is I said, at the end of the 3 months, you're going to have an option. I can say, hey, here's the city that works the best. This is going to be the best. It's going to be $1,500. Or I'm going to come to you and say, hey, both of these cities are producing very well, very consistently the same. If we can bump this to, let's say, 2,000 or 1,250 or maybe 2,500, depending on how good this first period is, we can do both areas. And now I've got him teed up for a potential twofer. You guys know what I mean? A little twofer, 2 for 1. So I've got him set up where he knows I'm just testing. He knows I'm running ads, but he also knows that I am looking for that money area. And I've also got him open-minded enough to the fact that I very well could come to him and say, hey, these areas both look really good. Let's do a twofer. Let's go ahead and add 1,000 because I'm at $1,500. So for another $1,000, you can have 2 areas, which makes your average cost per area $1,250. Okay. So this is what I'm going to test. I think it's a brilliant strategy. I've never really done it. I'm excited. Both areas look really good. And honestly, I wasn't trying to be cute or whatever. I'm just trying to come up with a solution to this issue. And if you guys have never done this, you guys don't know the pain point, but this happens frequently is you set up an area, you get leads enough to get a deal, and then the leads dry up. And you're like, oh crap, I have a website that's now I'm ranking, but I'm not even getting leads from ads, and I got to keep the business owner happy, and then the business owner cancels, and you got to it just doesn't work. So I'm going to spend 3 months testing. Then I'm going to make a decision to either go in one or the other. I've got 4 different areas I can play with, or, and most likely what I'm probably going to do is try to get him, if they're good, I'm going to make sure that it's a good option. I'm going to get him at $2,500 a month instead of $1,500, and he's going to get 2 deals instead of 1. And that is how I am from the beginning, getting him to commit to a lower amount, a small micro commit, but in his head, he knows I might be coming for the $2,500 a month. Okay. So this is what I'm testing. I'm still in the game. I'm doing deals. I lost 2 deals last week, guys. It is what it is. I want to know what your guys' thoughts are in the comments. You think this is a good strategy? You think this I'm just wasting my time? I think it sounds pretty good, but let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video.